What makes the FIFA World Cup the biggest sporting event on Earth? Every 4 years, billions of people stop what they're doing to watch nations battle for football glory. Heroes are made, legends are born, and history is written. But have you ever wondered how the World Cup began? Who won the first tournament? How did it become the most watched sporting event in the world? Today, we're traveling through nearly 100 years of football history to discover the incredible story of the FIFA World Cup. Let's begin. Before the World Cup existed, international football competitions were very limited. In the early 1900s, football was growing rapidly across Europe and South America. At that time, the Olympic Games hosted football tournaments, but FIFA wanted a global competition dedicated entirely to football. The man who pushed this dream forward was FIFA President Jules Rimet. He believed football could unite nations through sport. After years of planning, FIFA officially announced the first World Cup. The year was 1930. The host nation was Uruguay, and history was about to be made. The first World Cup, 1930. Only 13 teams participated in the inaugural tournament. Traveling across the ocean was difficult and expensive, so many European countries decided not to attend. Despite these challenges, the tournament was a success. Thousands of fans packed stadiums in Uruguay. The final was played between Uruguay and Argentina. The atmosphere was electric. After a dramatic match, Uruguay defeated Argentina 4-2. Uruguay became the first ever FIFA World Cup champion. A new era of football had begun. The World Cup stops. As the tournament grew, football fans around the world became excited for future editions. The World Cups of 1934 and 1938 were successfully held in Europe. But then tragedy struck. World War II changed everything. The tournaments scheduled for 1942 and 1946 were canceled. For more than a decade, the world had no World Cup. Many wondered if the competition would ever return. Thankfully, football's greatest tournament was not finished. In 1950, the World Cup returned in Brazil. Millions celebrated the return of international football. The tournament produced one of the biggest shocks in sports history. Brazil only needed a draw against Uruguay in the final match. More than 170,000 fans filled the famous Maracanã Stadium. Everyone expected Brazil to win. Instead, Uruguay stunned the football world and won 2-1. The silence inside the stadium became one of the most famous moments in football history. In 1950, the World Cup returned in Brazil. Millions celebrated the return of international football. The tournament produced one of the biggest shocks in sports history. Brazil only needed a draw against Uruguay in the final match. More than 170,000 fans filled the famous Maracanã Stadium. Everyone expected Brazil to win. Instead, Uruguay stunned the football world and won 2-1. The silence inside the stadium became one of the most famous moments in football history. As the decades passed, football continued to grow. New stars emerged. New nations rose to power. And the World Cup became bigger than ever. Then came a young player who would change football forever. His name was Pele. In 1958, at just 17 years old, Pelé helped Brazil win the World Cup. His skill amazed the world. Brazil would go on to dominate world football. Pelé eventually won 3 World Cups, a record that still stands today. For many fans, Pelé remains the greatest footballer of all time. The 1960s, 70s, and 80s brought unforgettable moments. Teams such as Germany, Italy, Argentina, and Brazil became global football giants. Every tournament created new heroes. Every tournament delivered unforgettable drama. Then in 1986, football witnessed another legendary performance. Diego Maradona led Argentina to World Cup glory. During that tournament, he scored some of the most famous goals ever seen, including the incredible goal of the century against England. Maradona's performances became part of football folklore. By the 1990s and 2000s, the World Cup had become a truly global event. Television broadcasts reached every corner of the planet. Fans could watch matches live from anywhere. The tournament became more competitive than ever. New stars emerged: Ronaldo, Zidane, Ronaldinho, Iniesta, Xavi, and many others. The World Cup was no longer just a football tournament. It had become a worldwide celebration. For more than 15 years, football was dominated by two icons, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Fans debated endlessly who was the greatest. Both players achieved incredible success at club level, but the World Cup remained the ultimate prize. For years, Messi chased football's biggest dream. He came close in 2014 when Argentina reached the final, but Germany won. Many wondered if Messi would ever lift the trophy. Then came Qatar 2022. The tournament delivered one of the greatest stories in sports history. Messi inspired Argentina to victory. After years of heartbreak, he finally lifted the World Cup. The image of Messi holding the trophy instantly became iconic. From Uruguay in 1930 to the modern spectacles watched by billions, the FIFA World Cup has created unforgettable memories, legendary players, and historic moments. And the story is still being written. Who will become the next World Cup hero? Which nation will lift the trophy next? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed this journey through football history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and join us for more football stories and explanations. Thanks for watching.